Last week, we got the announcement of Marvel Rivals, a third-person PvP hero shooter that is going to feature 6v6 combat, as well as a vast roster of superheroes and supervillains. This is now joining the roster of an incredible lineup of upcoming Marvel games that we already know about so far, like Blade, Wolverine, Marvel 1943, and even the untitled Black Panther game and Iron Man games that are under development with the publisher EA. Now, many people are calling this game the Overwatch killer, and we might not know if that's true until we see more. We understand the gameplay loop. It also is going to feature a unique mechanic of being able to dynamically combine your teammates' powers, because I mean, this is a universe full of superpower beings. We also have confirmation that it's being developed for PC, and only the possible speculation that it'll come to console. In this video, I'm going to go over everything we know so far, even outside of the officially published articles, as well as the Marvel.com article that came out shortly after the trailer dropped. Some of these details are great, and then some of them might not look too good when you look at NetEase Games, might cause you to give a bit of a side eye. And be sure to stick around to the end of the video, because that bit of tea, whew, is looking piping hot. One of the easiest things to get out of the way first is that Marvel Rivals has confirmed that a closed alpha test will be starting this May. In the alpha test, players will have access to more than a dozen of the playable superheroes and supervillains, including but not limited to Black Panther, Spider-Man, Magneto, and Scarlet Witch. You can sign up by going over to marvelrivals.com and then just checking out their sign up now process. It's also been confirmed on that page that the closed alpha test will only be available on PC, and participants can look forward to experiencing an early version of the game that is still in development, so don't be surprised if you run into a couple of bugs and glitches. You'll be given the chance to test out different team-up skills, which seems like a core mechanic of the gameplay, and use destructible environments to get a feel for how the ever-shifting battles will go. That's another thing I actually meant to mention from the trailer. We did see that on top of the team attacks, there'll also be destructible environments like what you see here, where Hulk and Iron Man actually combine abilities. Hulk shoots a gamma blast over to Iron Man, and then he gives him a superpowered unibeam. I am hoping that the destructible environments will make changes to the map that are basically lasting throughout a match. Not that it's just like a building falls down and then everything just kind of disappears and it makes no difference. Because otherwise, is it just for aesthetic? Also, will a falling building on my enemies actually cause damage? That would also be a great aspect too, because it'll force players to actually think about their surroundings throughout matches. Now into a bit of the juicier stuff, the character roster. I don't think I've seen any official pages or channels give us confirmation on an expected character roster when the game launches, but scouring through Twitter, I did find this thread where this person was saying that this roster was so boring, but I couldn't disagree more. My assumption is this is the roster that we will have and expect on day one of the game's launch. It'll be including Bruce Banner, the Punisher, Storm, Loki, Doctor Strange, Mantis, Rocket Raccoon in that first row. Second row, you got Black Panther, Groot, Magic, who's a character who is apparently well known in the X-Men community as far as the comics go recently. This is the first time I'm ever really hearing about her. Luna Snow, who is a relatively new character in the last couple of years, most recently in Marvel Comics. And then you got Iron Man, Spider-Man, and Magneto. Now below that, we get a look at a little bit of a fuzzier image, but these are people that we also saw in the trailer as well. So it stands to reason that these pictures are legit. We've got to look at Scarlet Witch, Penny Parker, Star-Lord, and Namor. I'd also like to point out with this picture, you also get a feel for the type of classes that each character will be. I know a lot of people have been talking about how Doctor Strange actually will even serve as a tank in the game, which is very interesting, but you can see here that he does have the exact same symbol as, say, Bruce Banner, who you know is definitely a tank in the game. Could be wrong, but based off this image, it looks like there will be 3 different class types. You'll have the choice between, I assume, kind of the assault soldier type, it's kind of balanced, more attack driven, but all around not overpowered. Looks like you have your healers like Loki, Mantis, and apparently even Rocket Raccoon. I guess that would make sense because he provides like robotic repairs and everything. And then you have your tanks, think people like Bruce Banner, Magneto. These are going to be people who can take heavy damage, but also give out some heavy hits as well. Going back to Doctor Strange, if you take a look in this trailer, one thing I'm going to point out is that even though he's a tank, he definitely moves like Zenyatta from Overwatch. So it stands to reason that there might be a lot of copy and pasting between the two games, but I guess when it comes to the hero shooter genre, like how else are you gonna do it? I'm not sure. I mean, this might have been the option instead of doing like a collaboration with Overwatch, because things aren't looking too good over in that camp. Overwatch 2 has been abysmal. I'm definitely interested and would like to keep my eye out on if more class types will come, or if these are the 3 that we can expect, because essentially you would be kitted out with probably 2 of each class type if that's the case. Based off this roster, what do you think? Do you agree with the tweet that it's boring? And who are you gonna be maining in Marvel's Rivals? Let me know down in the comments below. And while you're there, be sure to hit the like button to help get this video to other people who are looking to find out more information about Marvel's Rivals, because we're going to be continuing to cover it on the channel. Moving on, I came across this Twitter thread that kind of broke down each character based off of the snippets that we saw, as well as deep diving a little bit further into the gameplay mechanics that we witnessed in this very brief trailer. The modes that we currently saw as it stands seems to be an escort mode and a King of the Hill mode. I think pretty typical in a hero shooter. There's many objectives like health packs placed around the map, and it looks like the environments can be destroyed by seemingly anything, whether it's regular weapons, ultimates, or special abilities. Team up mechanics are not looking like they expect to give people new abilities, but rather modify their existing ones. So I guess we witnessed Namor combine abilities with Luna Snow, or if we did, it would buff her ability and give Namor an upgraded turret. Or for example, Rocket can jump on anyone's back, not just Groot, which, hey, give me a Winter Soldier playable and we can recreate some moments from Avengers Infinity War, you know what I mean? Characters like Iron Man will be able to kind of catch a little bit of flight like a Farah, but it looks like he also has a stance switch where he switches from his repulsors and like a wrist rocket to potential other weapons as well. And then also having a special, which is his Unibeam. A tank like Hulk is going to be similar to Diva. He's running around with a gamma gun and gamma grenades, but then obviously when he unlocks his ultimate, he becomes the Hulk and gets a huge buff, probably in strength and health. And then once you take down his health, he'll revert back to Bruce Banner. The power that looks a little new to me is the fact that he can just throw his gamma energy at people, but people in my comments of the other reaction and breakdown video said this is something he's done in the past. So I'm gonna take their word for it. As I stated earlier, characters like Spider-Man and Black Panther are going to be DPS, mainly relying on melee. And it does make me wonder, how are these characters going to be balanced? Like, I suppose they have more of a middle ground style of health. So if everyone was to run DPS on a team, sure, you get a lot of damage, but you'd also be suffering from basically getting knocked out very quickly. Getting into a healer support character like Loki, it looks like they sport relatively low health, which is kind of surprising, but I guess because they can continually heal. His ultimate looks like him being able to transform into another character. I'm definitely wondering how this is going to work. Is it a character at random? Is it a character that he's currently facing? That'll be definitely interesting, but it is cool that he basically can transform into a tank or DPS. Probably helps make up for the fact of his having low health. I'm going to link this thread down below so that you can read through each character one by one if you so choose, because you know it'd be kind of boring for me to just sit here and basically rattle off bullet points. But this thread was also super helpful to show a little bit more about how team abilities work. It's possible that team up abilities are beneficial for both players, but in some ways are just a one-way street. For example, Hulk being able to throw his gamma energy at Iron Man to boost his Unibeam does not inherently mean that Iron Man can do anything that will essentially boost Hulk in the same way. Just because Rocket Raccoon can jump onto Groot and start up a team up ability doesn't mean that Groot has a team up ability with Rocket. It looks like these are typically tied to their C abilities, but all team ups can be C abilities, but not all C abilities are for specifically team up. So it looks like there's a little song and dance to it. There's a little bit more depth in this than people are seeing at first glance. And I'm definitely interested to see what we're gonna learn in May once this closed alpha becomes available to the player base. I have signed up. Obviously, I'm sure there's probably gonna be an NDA associated, but as soon as any embargo is, I will be sure to bring anything that I know to the channel. So be sure that you are subscribed and turn on notifications. Now, to get into the not so good that I've heard in regards to NetEase Games, the developer working in collaboration with Marvel, I noticed this thread started by Will the Bow saying, I remember working on this with NetEase over COVID. So it looks like this game has actually been in development for quite some time. He goes on to say, they did not pay for the work I did at the end, and it was one of the most directionless projects I've ever had the misfortune of working on. If that doesn't give you a bead of sweat as a fan of games and also someone who recognized that the gaming industry has been in a very, very unfortunate place over the last few years, I don't know what will. Throughout 2023 and into 2024, we've seen a lot of layoffs. We've seen a lot of people passionate about this art form be completely mistreated, and it really sucks to hear that that's possibly something that went over on at NetEase Games and when it comes to the development of Marvel Rivals. He replies to this tweet saying that most of the feedback during the concept boiled down to look at this thing from this other thing and copy it. Guess in reference to taking a look at Overwatch and saying, how can we copy that but make it superheroes? At one point, the reference image provided us was literally a piece of concept art that was trending on ArtStation on that same day, SMFH. He ends on, back then I was young and hungry. This goes out to all younger artists in the industry. Don't ever do free art tests. If you're good enough, then you deserve to be paid for your time. Any work you do during these tests are company properties and could be used in the end. That is just so disheartening. It really disappoints me. I would like to do more research into this. I feel like I saw a couple of other artists and character designers also start speaking up around this time, but I couldn't find the tweets before making this video. But I want to do more due diligence and look further into this. It really does suck if this product does turn out to be tied to some mistreatment of those who worked on the game. People work hard to make video games happen for us, and all developers and all stages of development deserve respect, down to the character concept artists, the writers, the animators, the community managers, the directors, the social media managers, everyone. I know that is a tough pill to swallow for some. It might be even enough to make some people fall out of being interested in this game. And I think that's totally understandable. You have to stand for what you believe in at any given time and in what way you so choose. As I stated before, I will be doing my due diligence while also keeping an eye on Marvel Rivals as well. If you made it this far in the video, I appreciate you hooking me up with some quality watch time on the channel. Let me know that you made it to this point by commenting #OverwatchKiller incoming. And then after that, hook me up with some more watch time by clicking the card on the screen and checking out my video where we broke down all types of details that so many people missed in the Marvel 1943 trailer and initial reveals and extended scenes. As always, appreciate you watching. I am Jay Frisch, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out.